Hello my divine kings and queens. I'm back to do another video. And today's message, what I'm going to be going over is not falling back into the traps of the enemy, right? And what I mean by not falling back into those same cycles, not allowing yourself to go back to the very thing that God delivered you from. And the reason why I want to touch base on this today is because I'm feeling that when God moves you to a certain area and level of your life, right? At times you feel like you are in this by yourself and you don't know who God will bring your way to either teach you a lesson or who he'll bring your way to actually share these blessings with you, right? So a lot of the times we grow weary of being alone because we say, well, I want to be in a relationship or I want to have a friendship. But at the same time, when you're grabbing things and you're connecting with people whom you don't need to be connecting with, you lose sight of what God is trying to do for you. Likewise, when you lose sight, you lose focus. And see, you know, like I said, I would never come on here and tell you something that I'm not battling with myself, right? We get to a certain level of our lives and we feel like we got it made now, but you don't even understand that this is an ongoing battle for your life, for your soul, for your well-being. The enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy. And you think that he's given up, but he hasn't. He's sitting somewhere, he's watching you, and he's mad at the fact that you're winning. He's mad that you're actually basking in all of this glory and success. And the thing is, God is saying, sit back and watch how things play out now that you have the victory. Now that you have the victory over your life and people are seeing you in a way, in a manner that they've never seen you before. And they're understanding that it's only God who could have done this for you. They know who was working with you, because these are the people who was working against you. And these are the very same people who have to sit and watch what God is doing for your life, because you was always meant to have these blessings. You was always meant to be in this position. You was always supposed to have a life filled with peace, filled with abundance, filled with prosperity, filled with power, successes. But let me tell you something. Where you are in life, it don't make you a sellout. It means and it's showing to people that you are obedient to God. And when you're obedient to God, it comes with a promise, right? It comes with its shares of rewards. And God is rewarding you. You are reaping the rewards for you being obedient to his purpose and to his calling that he has for you. But you're in a place right now where you can jeopardize it all, because as you're seeing things unfold, you're realizing how slowly but surely the devil is trying to creep back into your life and have you, oh my God. Oh, yes. You're realizing now that that devil never gave up. He was just sitting back somewhere lurking, waiting for a moment that you came back up so he can come back in and knock you down again. But God saying, no, ain't nobody going to be able to knock you off your throne again. Do you understand me? Sit back and watch how this play out now that the victory is yours. Sit back and watch how this play out now that your enemies have to sit and watch you bask in this glory and in these successes, because people haven't given up on you. There's a lot of people who, like I said, you would never begin to understand because this and this is not in alignment. Do you understand what I'm saying? That could be for your family. That could be for your friends. That could be for people who you used to roll with. Be careful and wary of people who are around you but envious of you because they want your life. Because these are the very same people who will sit here and be around you and see how they can sabotage you, see what it is that you did and how you did it, so they can try to figure out a way to sabotage you. But let me tell you something. That doesn't mean that you run away from God's calling. That doesn't mean that you start sitting up here and running back and getting afraid, because what's meant for you will be for you. The enemy attacks will never get to you. They will never touch you. They will never, like I said, they will never be able to stop what God is trying to do for your life right now. But he never gave up. The devil didn't give up. He sat back somewhere and he was creeping and he was lurking and he was waiting for his moment. And now as you see, and he's seeing too, he's trying to slowly either bring these situations back, bring these people back, bring this way of thinking back. And God is warning you. He's warning you, even though he's telling you sit back and watch how it play out. He is warning you. because these people are not coming in with good intentions. I don't care how they try to slice it, dice it. I don't care if you're currently in this situation and you went back. I'm telling you, you better find a way to get out. You have to love yourself enough to say that I work too much, I work too hard as a child of God. He will renew your strength and he will give you victory. Because all the devil and the enemy try to do is come in and steal your joy. Think back of how hard you had to work to get your peace back, to get your strength back. Think of how hard you had to work. And you wasn't doing it alone. Let me tell you something. You had to put in work and God was opening up and giving you the doors of opportunity. You had to put in the work in order to walk through. A lot of people don't have that willpower, like I was just saying earlier today on one of my sessions. People don't have that willpower to make the necessary sacrifices in order to step into what God needs them to step into and be who God needs them to be. It's hard to back away from what's the norm. It's hard to back away from what's popular. It's hard to be in peace with yourself, by yourself. But you have to love yourself enough to understand that you deserve peace. Amen. You have to love yourself enough to understand that you deserve everything that's coming your way. As I look in the mirror, a broken woman I see, broken down by the streets of life's journey. That broken woman is me. So I take me a little ride back down memory lane, past the verbal and the physical abuse and all the drama and pain. I've got to flee from this crazy situation, 'cause it's driving me insane. Now I'm packing up all my broken pieces and the little bit of strength that remains. 'Cause I love me. I love me better than that. I got to get my life back. You know, that song, like I said, I had to pull it up before I even, because I was listening to this a long time. My auntie was the one that originally sent that song to me when I was going through what I was going through. And, you know, like I said, Shirley Murdoch did that song, and I didn't understand, you know, like I said, I had to take me a little ride back down memory lane, remembering the verbal and the physical abuse and trying to figure out, why do I feel like I have to keep going back to these people that in some type of way abused me and harmed me and hurt me? Even as God delivered me and brought me to where I needed to be in my life, I always found myself thinking about the people who hurt me, but not in a negative way, in a positive way, just hoping that if people would have did right, they would have been in my life to this day. But they didn't, and it was for a reason. And I know I have a lot of people who would sit here and can agree with me that at the end of the day, when God delivers you from something, you do not go back. You do not go back to those situations. When God delivers you from a thing, it's for you to accept the lessons, and it's for you to learn these lessons, and it's for you to push forward once you pass the test. And see, a lot of you find yourselves growing weary of being alone. You find yourself growing weary and thinking like, why, when it comes to strangers, or why when it comes to people who I've known all my life, why did all these people group up against me, Lord? Because at the end of the day, like I say, his mark isolates you. It differentiates you from a lot of people who have different mindsets and beliefs and ulterior motives than you. A different soul, a different way of being than you. It separates you, it isolates you, because he's trying to protect you so that he can get you where he needs you to be. This is why he's saying, sit back and watch how it plays out now that the victory is yours. And what you're seeing is the devil never gave up. He never stopped watching you. He was waiting for a moment to come back. And you're seeing these people slowly but surely trying to ease their way back into your life as God is trying to bring in the new. You're trying to resolve situations with the old. when that situation needed to be left alone. So you find yourself and you're saying, did I really heal? I'm on this journey, but did I really heal? And the answer to that is you are healing while you're on this journey. It does not mean that you have to be completely healed when you make that choice to get on this journey. It means that on this journey, you are going through different cycles and you're going through different phases where you are learning, you're healing, and you're growing. And you're transitioning and you're elevating and you're going higher. You don't want to get to that point where God is trying to push you forward and you're trying to go back. You got to love yourself better than that. You got to love yourself in order to know that I deserve better. I deserve to be somebody's first choice, not second best. I deserve to be somebody's priority, not at the bottom of the totem pole. I deserve to be loved correctly. I deserve peace. I deserve success. What you're deserving of, God is trying to give you. But are you ready to accept it? Something that you're doing, you really need to step back and you really need to understand who you are and where God is trying to take you. Because you will sabotage and you will ruin yourself trying to go back to people who try to destroy you. Even if these people change and they humble themselves, it does not mean that you have to give up where God is trying to take you and give up who God is trying to give you to go back to old situations that showed you time and time again it was not meant to be in your life. It was not meant to be long term. You're trying to stretch something out that was meant to be a season, and you're trying to stretch it out when it's not meant to be stretched. It was meant to be for that season for a reason. Love yourself better than that. You have to love yourself better than that. And in this song, like I said, it says so many things that resonate with why I had to come on here and just say that. And it's like, she says, she's saying it all in this song. The enemy come to kill and destroy, to take your hopes and dreams. But as a child of God, I hope you can see that He'll renew your strength and He'll give you victory. But you have to love yourself better than that. You have to love yourself in order to know that when God is trying to take you to a certain place in your life, stop trying to go back to old people who showed you time and time again who they were. Stop trying to pick up and feel like there's an obligation to these people because of history, because of what you feel. Because maybe what you feel is causing you to ignore red flags and what you need to be seeing, because you're going it based on what you feel. And even with what you feel in part, you know that something is off with the situation, but you still choose to stay out of obligation. You have to step back and ask yourself, why do you feel this way? Why do you want to constantly be around people who at the end of the day, just because a person sees you differently now, does not mean that they have to respect you, does not mean that they have to give you what you're deserving of. All people are seeing right now, all your enemies are seeing right now is that you're blessed and that you're favored and that you're a child of God. This is why he's saying sit back and watch how it play out, now that the victory is yours, because a lot of people gonna see you in lights that they ain't see you in before. Does that mean that you have to accept them back in your life? They still an enemy. Once an enemy, always an enemy. But that don't mean that you sit up here and harbor hate and resentment in your heart towards these people. You forgive them and you release them. But you understand why they're trying to come back and why they treated you the way that they did before. The enemy comes to steal, to kill, and destroy. To take your hopes and dreams. And to steal all your joy. But as a child of God, I hope you can see that He'll renew your strength and He'll give you victory. And that's what He's giving you right now. I got up today and I played Shirley's song. I got up today and I was just like, all day before I came on here, I was playing her song. The enemy comes to kill and destroy, to take all your hopes and dreams, and to steal your joy. But as a child of God, I hope you can see that He'll renew your strength and He'll give you victory. But you have to love yourself and make up your mind and say, I want my joy back. I want my peace back. I want my strength back. Oh, sing it with me now. You have to wake up every day and say, listen, I want my joy. I want my peace. I don't care what it is that I went through in life or how people made me feel. At the end of the day, I want to wake up and I want to feel renewed. At the end of the day, I want to wake up and I want to feel rejuvenated. At the end of the day, I want to wake up and I want to feel restored. I want to be completely at peace. As you get older, your mind changes. As you get older, things about your life, you realize that you're not going to see them in the same way that you did before. Your perspectives change. Your viewpoints change. Your focus change. Your mannerisms change. Likewise, your lifestyle will change. And that's what God wants for you. This is why He gave you victory. This is why He went in the trenches and picked you up where the devil and the enemy left you at. They wanted to bury you. They wanted to take you out, but they didn't understand that's what you needed to grow. That was the very thing that you needed to transition. You needed to be triggered in order to transition. You needed to be triggered in order to elevate. You needed to be triggered in order to get on your journey. You needed to be triggered to see these people for who they were. He allowed certain things to happen so that you will open up your eyes to see. Because He renewed your strength and His plans was to give you the victory all along. You are a child of God. You are destined for success. You do have a purpose over your life. You are favored. He does watch over you. They wanted so bad for you to lose, only to have to sit back and watch you win. Do you think that you ain't ruffled? Do you think that they sitting back and they accepting that? They not taking that lightly. But God ain't gonna take lightly your purpose and your path. Do you understand what I'm saying? So please believe me when I say when they go for 10, He gonna go for 100. They will not have their way with you. They will have no choice at this point in this season to sit back and watch, because He's not going to allow it anymore. You learned those lessons. But He's saying, sit back and watch how it play out now that He's giving you the victory. So many people wanted to take you out. So many people at the end of the day wanted to have your position. Wanted to get you out the picture. How do they get you out the picture? They spread lies and gossip on you. They get people to turn their back on you. They get people not to support you. They don't support you. They think that they're not supporting you, that at the end of the day, it will stop something from happening in your life. They don't even understand that this is what God wanted for you. So even if they do not support you, even if they don't give you what it is that you need or that you're deserving of, God will give it to you. He will bring strangers in your life to get you to the next level of your life and where He needs you to be. But regardless of the fact, you're going to get there, because that's where He needs you to be. They didn't understand that. They thought that they had power when you was losing. They thought they had power when you was struggling. They thought they had power to see you when you was down. They thought they had power as long as they had people on their side believing what they were saying. But there's going to come a time where they're going to realize they never had no power at all. They had temporary access to your life. Short-lived successes, temporary access to do the things that they were doing. They never had no real power. You had the power. You had to trigger. You had to be triggered in order to see that, because it woke something up in you that was already there. People treat you so bad, like I said, they woke the beast about you. Like I said, being broke, it did something to your soul. It did something to your spirit. being homeless, going through them struggles, going through that opposition, going through that rejection, going through that adversity. It did something to your soul, did something to your spirit. You don't even understand sometimes when God try to do things. For some people, you've heard that about, we have to learn the hard way. For some people, like I said, when he gives you that free will, but you keep going back to situations, so now he say, okay, you got to learn the hard way. You had to go through certain things in order to be triggered, because the only way to go was up. That's how low you was. So it was either, like I said, it was either sink or swim. You was either going to fight to get yourself about that hole, or you was going to roll over and die to give the enemy what he wanted. God knew you was going to persevere. He knew you wasn't going to give up. But it took some time. And now that you're here, he's saying, sit back and watch how it play out, now that the victory is yours. You're going to see people's true colors come off, because it's going to be like they feel like they're losing. They feel like they have no control, no power over the situation, but they never did. They had temporary access to do the things that they did for a short period of time, to see you in the situations that you were in, so that you would learn. They never had no real power. And they are upset. There's nothing that they're going to be able to do to go against you. I'm telling you, I'm talking to somebody that you're worrying and you're stressing, and you don't even realize all you got to do is just let go and release, and let him bring in all them blessings that he said and promised that he would. You have to love yourself enough to understand what it is that I'm trying to tell you. I don't know exactly what it is or who it is. I just know that you know that that's a no-go situation. And if you struck it up, you need to end it, and you need to deaden that real quick. Because people is going to keep trying on every end, because they know that they will always be second fiddle when it comes to you. They know that as long as you here, this is why people tried to take you out, because you was too strong. You was too powerful. You was too headstrong. When you standing up in your power, people can't get you. They can't overcome you. They can't take you out. So they have to try to break you and suppress you, to keep you in this period of feeling like you don't have any power, and that you're powerless, that you're weak. But the very same things that people wanted for you, this is how they're feeling, and they can't take it, and they can't handle it. You're going to have a whole lot of people that's going to want to be up in your business. You got a whole lot of people who's going to come in for good intent. You got people who are going to come in with ill intent. You have to be able to discern and know who's who. And you have to understand that you cannot allow these people to come back in your life and get you off track again. You have to love yourself better than that, as hard as it may be. You say, okay, it's easier said than done, but let me tell you something. You're going to let these people come back in and take you to where you were before? A person don't just change like that easy and overnight like that. If a person is trying so hard to get back in your life, you have to ask yourself why. Sit back, watch how things play out. Now the victory is yours. If a person is trying so hard to try to get up in your business and pride, watch back, sit back, see how it all play out. Now that the victory is yours. If a person is trying so hard, ask yourself why, when they weren't doing this before. If you care about the path that you're on, and you want what God wants for you, and he's going to give it to you, he wants to give it to you, then you must do what I'm telling you to do. You back up, you think about it, and you pray on it. And I promise you, and I guarantee you, he's going to show you what you need to do. Because these people ain't for you. The reason why he's telling you watch how it play out, not that he's going to let them get to you, but see how they still yet was watching you the whole time. This is why I keep trying to tell you it's spiritual. When you understand and you know better, you do better. A lot of people who's not have on that same level spiritually, you're not going to understand what I'm saying. You see things totally different than the way I see it. These people never stopped watching you. They never stopped watching your struggle. They never stopped watching as you was putting in work. And they haven't stopped watching you now that you're in your victory. They are sick and they're being led by you know who. He is trying to come in and stop you because you threaten what it is that he's trying to do. You're threatening. You are a threat to his mission. You are a threat to Satan's mission. This is why he's sending agents. And he's going to dress these people up real good. He's going to change up their whole walk, their whole talk. Sit back and watch how it play out now that the victory is yours. Because you're the one. You've always been the one. You're the one. This is why his primary focus is on destroying you. You have to love yourself enough and have that wherewithal and understand that all this work and all these lessons that you've been learning, all this knowledge that you've gained, exercise it and implement it right now, because this is the time. This ain't the time to go back to be naive. This ain't the time to go back and try to be what you're doing right now. You're making excuses for these people. That's what you're doing. You're making excuses because you're saying, well, if God got me here, then ain't nothing wrong with me trying to bury the hatchet. But in burying the hatchet and trying to forgive, it does not mean that you have to let these people back up in your life. You kindly let them go as you've done before. Some of you are trying to go back to old situations and you don't need to be going back. And you don't need to allow these people to pull you back in these old situations because you're going to miss out on the new that God is trying to bring you. And a lot of you right now, you're growing weary of being on this path, but I keep trying to tell you, as I've said before, keep pushing because you never know when your miracle breakthrough is going. It's right around the corner. And it's going to get hard, but you can't give up and you can't quit. Sometimes it takes you having to look back and analyze the situation and say, I didn't deserve none of that. It was never my fault. Why am I taking accountability? Some of you who've forgiven yourself, you realize that you had to forgive yourself because you were taking accountability for other people's wrongdoing towards you when it had nothing to do with you. You didn't deserve anything that you went through, but it was necessary for your growth. And now that God got you here, you understand what this is, and you understand who he is, and you understand what it is that you have to do. So why would you go back? What purpose is that going to serve? A person seeing you for who you've always been now? So you think that things are going to be different now? When you've always been the same person? When people could have treated you how they're trying to treat you now, they had every opportunity to treat you that way back then, but they didn't want to do it. They wanted to go up against you. And now people want to change their walk because they see that God brought you to victory. Sit back and watch how it play out, because I guarantee you, who you think is for you, it's not for you. They playing their role, and they will forever play that role. This is why you have to let them go. And you have to let God, because he got something for you and he got someone for you. But you're going to miss out on that if you stay up in that situation. You can't beat them, you join them. They realize that you got your guard so up, they had to change, but they did not change it for the right reasons. It's not going to be no permanent change that they're making in their lives. It's a temporary change in order to get back on your good graces for the wrong reasons. And this is your confirmation. So be aware. And until next time, I want you to understand that if you need a friend, you got it in me. If you need love, you got it in me. If you need inspiration, motivation, a life example, you already know that you got it in me. I'm your sister. I'm your friend. I'm your confidant. You already know I come with that real, I don't come with that fake. I keep it 100 with you. I keep it a buck with you. Okay? We ride together, we gonna slide together. Keep reaching and keep teaching and bringing others to the JC game. I love y'all, and until next time, stay prayed up and be blessed.